Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to the second session for today. The role of HR and technology in transforming HR. Our speaker for today is Dorothy Tunde Ajala. She's on standby and waiting to give us an impactful and insightful session. Just before that, let me just take a quick roll call of who we have joining currently. Adedoyin, you're welcome. Babatunde, Juliet, Omotola, Priscilla, and UI. While we wait for more people to join, we also want to welcome those joining us on YouTube. Great to have you as part of this session as well. Thank you for joining. This session has been pre-approved for 3 global credits by the HRCI, that's the Human Resources Certification Institute. So if you hold the GPHR certification, this session will give you 3 global credits towards renewing your certification. Right, so quickly let's meet our speaker for today. A woman who needs no introduction, but we'll still introduce her anyway. So Dorothy Tunde Ajala is an HR leader with over 20 years experience in developing and implementing human resources strategies to achieve diverse organizational goals. She holds a BSc in Sociology from University of Lagos and an ongoing Master's in International Business from UCAM, Spain. Dorothy is a global professional in human resources, a certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach, and a certified behavior analyst as DISC trainer. Dorothy is currently the lead consultant and CEO at Accelerate Leadership Limited, a fast-growing coaching, learning and development, and HR advisory services firm. Prior to that, she worked as HR Director, Anglophone West Africa at Schneider Electric Nigeria, General Manager, HR Admin for Pan-African International, Country Head of Human Resources, Siemens Nigeria Limited, HR Manager, MTN Nigeria Communications, and Head of People Management at Mistral Consulting. She's an executive and career coach to people at various career levels, from mid-career to C-suite level, and a mentor to numerous young HR professionals. Dorothy is passionate about women in leadership, equipping the differently abled with employability skills, and generally helping people and organizations achieve their potential. Arising from the several requests she receives each day to help with procuring jobs, Dorothy founded Accelerate Your Career, a WhatsApp group where vacancies are posted to members to match them to available jobs, career tips, as well as free training sessions per month. Dorothy sits on the board of Women in HR and was a member of the board of directors for Schneider Electric Systems Nigeria Limited. She is also a member of the advisory committee for Association of Allied HR Professionals. She is a member of the Institute of Directors, Society for Human Resources Management, as well as several HR groups. She is a member and associate of Leadership for Environment and Development. She is also a member of the John Maxwell Team and International Coaching Federation. She was recently nominated for the 2020 Africa LinkedIn Influencer Awards in the HR/Recruiter category. So with a warm welcome, a virtual standing ovation, and a loud applause, let's welcome Dorothy Tunde Ajala to the tHRive conference. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Please just hold on a second. Thank you so much for the introduction. Okay, please just give me a second. I'm trying to, start my video. Okay, hello everyone. Hi, how are you today? Okay, Babajide, can you unmute people for a few minutes? Hello.
Okay, if
Okay, it's
to
fine. It's okay. I can see the chats now.
Okay,
I can see the chats now. Okay, so the way I usually like to start my sessions, I usually like to find out how people are feeling. And so you're out there. There are about 20 of us out here today. Harriet, good to see you. And a few, quite a few people that I know on this platform. Thank you for joining. So I want you to tell me, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling frustrated with everything that is happening around you? Are you feeling great and full of ideas and full of energy today? Quickly on the chat. Yeah, feeling pumped up. Fantastic. Yes, I like that. Okay, Babatunde says I'm feeling pumped up. Okay, feeling great, great, elated, productive, energized. Fantastic. Good. I'm feeling good, but frustrated with network. Oh, story of our lives in this era of webinars and webinars. Okay, I'm feeling, yeah. Any other person? There are 20 people. Yes, feeling great and thankful to God, and we all should be. Yes, thankful to God for his mercies over us this period that has been quite challenging since March. Okay, yes. Any other feedback? Okay, yes. Harriet, good to see you indeed. She says, feeling great and grateful to God for life and health. Okay, fantastic. Excellent. Please just keep posting your comments over there while I try to share my screen. Okay. All right. So Babachide, I can see your face. Let me try to share my screen so that yeah, so sorry. Exit screen. Okay, and I think we are good to go. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I'm trying for it to go into slideshow. Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, so today we're talking about HR technology, HR transformation, the rise of HR technology, an emerging HR model, and the entire outline. We'll be touching on each of the entire outline, hopefully before our time rounds up. Okay, so I would like to begin with a video. And this video, I found it on YouTube. I found it very interesting because this video basically is what our reality is right now as HR professionals. And so please bear with me. I thought I put the link, but it doesn't look like I did. Can you still see my screen, please? Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Can you see the video?
Not yet.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
coming up now.
All right, great. Can you hear my video? Can you, hello, can you see my screen now? Can you see the video now?
Yes, we can see your screen, but we can't hear it yet.
Oh, you can't hear. Oh my goodness. Ah.
So when you're choosing the share option, you should choose to share your audio.
Oh, okay. On my Zoom.
Yeah, so you can stop sharing, then try and share again, and then choose tick the two boxes when you want to confirm the share. There are two boxes that talks about your audio.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm so sorry. You may need to say that again because, okay, great. Yes, I've got it. Okay. Can you hear it now? Okay, I see that people are still having an issue with, okay, all right. Let me send you the link then. Okay, so I see that we're still having issues with hearing. So I'm going to ask Babajide to please play the YouTube video from his end. Okay, thank you.
Okay, just a moment. I'll be saying now.
Right, great. So can I stop sharing so that you can share? Great. Excellent. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Babajide, for helping with that one. So let me now share my screen again so that we can see what. So how many of us are familiar with some of the things that were mentioned in that video? Okay, you can just share in the chat. How many of us are familiar with some of the, I mean, you saw the way that, this HR person basically managed her day. How many of us manage our days like that? Let me hear. I'm waiting, guys. How many of us actually manage our days like that? How many of us can say, oh, okay, my day is not 100% that way, but at least one or two things I saw on the video, that's I'm in touch with technology like that. Nobody's saying anything. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that video was actually shot in 2011. That's about 9 years ago. And at that time, that video was basically predicting that for HR, that's going to be the new way of HR working. So I quickly put a little note here. So yesterday I got to sign a contract. There's something I'm working on. There's a project I'm working on, and I signed the contract online real time. Within 2 minutes of receiving it, I signed it online and it went back to the senders. Now, that's been the impact of technology. A lot of us carry about these smartphones these days, and we can't imagine our lives without it. Now, just the same way that technology has impacted on all aspects of our lives, it's also the same way that it has affected our work as HR professionals. Unfortunately, a number of organizations have actually not come up to speed in terms of the value that can be derived from, using technology to make work simpler, make employees more productive, and ultimately increase the bottom line as a result of the benefits that are derived from technology. Okay, so once in a while, that's the way I teach, Babajide. Hope you don't mind. Once in a while, I'm going to be asking for responses on the chat box from people. So I'm going to please crave your indulgence to do that. So today we're talking about the role of HR technology, in HR transformation. And basically what I've written here is that HR technology can be defined as a set of tools and technologies used by HR professionals to research, to analyze, to organize, to manage, and enable HR business performance through the integration of people and technology, okay? So it also refers to all of the software that we use to track, to manage, to pay, to understand, to find, to inform, to deliver benefits to the people and to the business, okay? So that's what it is. So tell me, I'd like for you to please share with me on the chat box, do you have any form of technology? What kind of technology do you have in your organization? Quickly, let's share, please. Quickly. Where is my chat box now? Okay, everybody is quite quiet. Babaji, the chat box is enabled, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So quickly share with me what kind of technology do you have in your organization? If you can hear me, please share with me what kind of HR technology. I'm assuming that most of the people on this call are HR professionals. So share quickly, what are you using? What are you using technology to do in your human resources team?
Did I read it out from your, can you see your chat?
I can actually see my chat. I don't know why. I was seeing it before.
Okay, maybe because you are sharing your screen now. So I'll read it from here.
Okay, please
So,
go ahead.
Cheesy says SAP
Okay,
Navision.
fantastic.
Juliet says Human Manager and Remita.
Fantastic for payroll. Okay, any other one?
No, just those two.
Okay, great. And
Lisa
I'm
says
sure
I use Excel.
as we discuss, as we go along, people will be able to share more information. Okay, so basically, so what are the types of HR technology we have? You have the HRIS, you have the HCM, you have HRMS, you have someone mentioned human manager, and some payroll software just now. You have HR technology for payroll, you have HR technology for time and attendance, you have HR technology for workforce management, you have HR technology for benefits administration, you have HR technology for human resource information systems. You also have HR technology for talent management, for your succession planning. So there are very many, you know, types of HR profession technology. You have HR technology for recruitment. As a matter of fact, there's so many emerging technologies in that respect. So in the organization where I recently worked, the last organization where I worked before I came into my current organization, everything was, automated when it comes to recruiting. So we had an AI which would, basically um, help to match the right candidates to the roles and basically help in shortlisting. That was because usually, of course, you know that in Nigeria, not just in Nigeria, globally, you advertise one role and the next thing you're receiving a gazillion of CVs. So AI, artificial intelligence, that was for a recruitment that we had, would basically help to quickly match people who had the background you were looking for, and basically quickly help you with that short list. And with it internally as well, if we wanted to only hire internally and not go externally, it also could quickly match people with the roles. That's people within the organization. Additionally, for onboarding, we never we never had to see an employee before the onboarding actually started. Everything was automated, and it was very fantastic because it was very good for the employees' first impressions about the organization. But more so, it also helped the HR professional to basically free up their time as well. So everything would be sent to every form that needed to be ticked rather than filled would be sent to the new HR employee. By the time they're resuming on day one, they have their cards, their ID cards, and everything they needed, including their laptops or whatever it is that they needed to perform on the role. They were also given access to the trainings that they required to do ahead of time. Of course, also factoring in, uh, you know, uh, confidentiality issues and everything. So technology basically has made our lives easier. And let's just quickly look at a bit of some of the benefits. I've mentioned a few. I've mentioned in terms of recruitment, okay, simple time tracking, which has really come to the fore, particularly with the uh, with uh, 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 with the onset of COVID-19, which necessitated a number of organizations that were not ready to start working from home. Okay, with an HR management tool, it's easy to access all employee essential information. As a matter of fact, I could access employee information on my phone. It was that simple. Okay, the talent management softwares that can automate any time consuming manual processes, hence allowing us as HR professionals to focus on more productive and strategic processes. And of course, there are simple employee development platforms that enables you. In fact, that is a major breakthrough, I must say, because unlike before where you had to wait until you went to a location to learn, um, I mean, technology has made it so simple. And right now we are actually on Zoom talking about, I mean, we're undergoing a learning opportunity. And this is all as a result of technology. Um, there's also safe document management. I told you that yesterday I signed a document online real time, which basically allowed for, which is part of a safe document management and all of that. So the technology, HR technology has huge benefits. And really, I was discussing with someone yesterday and I said to them that there is no way that, we can safely say that there has been an HR transformation without HR technology, because the technology
It seems there's a connectivity issue from our end. Just sit tight. We'll try and get her reconnected shortly. Okay, so she'll be rejoining shortly. Internet connection went off, and she'll be connecting back now and join us to continue the session. So please bear with us. Few more minutes, 2 minutes. We'll be back. Thank you.
Okay, I do apologize. Hello, can everybody hear me now?
Welcome back, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so sorry about that. Infrastructure issues. Um, and we all know that we need to have a good infrastructure to support usage of technology. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen again. Okay, we can hear me again, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. And my apologies about that. Okay, so basically, HR technology helps us to be more efficient and focused on all HR efforts, not just recruitment. Um, it helps us with actionable workforce analytics and brings it basically to our fingertips. And it's a support for key HR related compliance issues where necessary, and it also provides a more efficient way for capturing data and helps to reduce um, duplication of errors, basically. So HR technology, I can't even begin to, I can't begin to say enough, how important it has been. I mean, we all watched that video just now, and we saw how if we're able to convince our management to basically invest in technology, it makes our lives simple and helps us to focus on more strategic issues around within the organization. Okay, so now let's talk about HR digital transformation, because HR technology really is the bedrock of HR transformation, not just digital. But let's look at digital, and then we'll go ahead to look at how the way that work has evolved over the years. So basically, HR digital transformation is that process of changing operational HR processes to become automated and data driven. And I'm going to talk a bit more about data later on during the conversation. So it is the way that HR transformation is the way that HR functions using data to guide all areas of HR, from not just from recruitment, from even before recruitment to learning and development, payroll, benefits, performance management, rewards and recognition, the whole rung of talent management, succession planning, and the entire employee life cycle, basically. So HR transformation is basically what that is. Now let's look at just quickly how the way that work is grouped has transformed over the years. Okay, and basically, if you look at the picture I have right here, you will see that we need to. This is basically talking about how the grouping of work has transformed from the 1850s up until today. So we know that from the 1850s to the 1900s, it was the age of crafts and manufacturing. It was basically, basically local markets with high customization, to those environments. And then we moved in to the age of spacious markets, but with little competition. So, for example, I'm selling Nigerian assembled cars, and I remember the Peugeots of those days. Those cars were assembled in Nigeria. If you had a Peugeot, that was about the highest kind of car you could aspire to have in those days. And then we moved from the mid 1970s to the 80s to the age of global markets, where outperformers basically exercise market pressure over conventional companies. So the age of global markets opened up a whole load of possibilities to the work environment. And um, and basically we began to experience disruptive times, and we began to become aware of volatility and uncertainties in the environment. Why? Because now we were no longer playing just locally. The world began to open up to international or global competition, which was of course brought about by the advent of the internet, basically. And so also new technologies started to impact new ways of thinking. Now we talk a lot about big data and convergence. These days, when you're advertising for a job, there are many possibilities, barring all hindrances regarding immigration and all of that. The opportunities are open globally, just the same way that we're having this discussion right now. And I know we're on YouTube, and there's a possibility that very many people from all over the world are, basically participating. So obviously also became the issues of various generational workforce differences, and then of course social enterprise and the death of hierarchies. So basically technology has not only impacted HR, and it has impacted every aspect of our lives. There are many of us on this call who we order a lot of our, gadgets. We order them online from outside of Nigeria, and within days we receive them. And obviously, this is obviously the result of the change in the way that work is now organized, occasioned by the advent of internet. Okay, so now as the world flipped to more dynamic markets with less predictability, remember I talked about volatility coming into play because now we are now a global market. I tell you, almost everything, including locally made products, have become have competitions outside of the country. I mean, the other day it was in the news that Nigerian stew was being packaged from India. So that goes to tell you that, look, you cannot begin to think, locally anymore. You've got to think about, you've got to realize that you're in a global market, and you've got to up your game in terms of how you position yourself in the market. Why are we even talking about this? I mean, we're talking about HR technology. What's the issue here? So what we're trying to basically say is that, look, the world of work, the way that the world of work is organized has basically been disrupted. It has changed, and therefore we need to just basically look at how this change impacts human resources. Okay, so social contracts has been eroded. Situations where, I mean, there's some of us, there may be baby boomers and generation X's in the room. When maybe you were growing up, you were told just go to school. Once you go to school, you are guaranteed job for life, and then you retire, and then you start receiving your pension. Some of us have parents who went through, this life cycle, and of course, that has obviously been eroded by globalization. There is more outsourcing these days, and even though there's a lot of hue and cry in Nigeria about particularly employee outsourcing, more and more we are going to be seeing a lot of that, because obviously with recent happenings, the issue of freelancers has really begin to play out right now, where people are not even quite a number of people are not even interested in doing the 9 to 5 anymore. They're just interested in providing services. You pay them for it, they move on to the next project or assignments, and they would rather work for various organizations providing services. So outsourcing is obviously something that these days is becoming a trend. Again, because of our peculiar situations in Nigeria, we basically take time to catch up with some of these things, but it's already happening. I mean, I was having a conversation with some ladies about 2 weeks back, and they said to me, you know what, having experienced working from home occasioned by the COVID-19, I'm not sure that I really want to go back to the office doing the 9 to 5 because of traffic and all of that, some other issues that are, that can be stressful. And this is, even though we know that working from home itself has its own issues. Okay, so there are now erosion of the trade union movements, like I said, again, because of the fact that there are more freelancers emerging. Innovation has led to a more rapid change in the world of work, in the way that work is structured and organized, in the way that employees want to be treated. So there is also a reshaping of the HR as a business partner role. And we all know that Dave Ulrich talked about this about 22 years ago now. Dave Ulrich basically talked about the 4 roles of human resources. And since then, for those of you who are on the call who may not know, this was a business partnering, HR as business partners, as change agents, as employee champions, and also as administrative expertise. Okay, so and in order for us to really focus on the 3 most important roles, according to Dave Ulrich, we needed to be administrative experts. And of course, part of the benefits that I had mentioned and that was easily recognized in those days was the use of HR technology to basically manage the administrative expertise aspect of the role of human resources. Okay, so obviously also is that our organizations and our thinking is being reshaped. All right, as a result of this erosion in, as this new way of working, as it were, you find out that employees basically are not as loyal as they used to be. So nobody wants to, well, not nobody, there are still some people who want to, particularly in this parts of the world. But, if you look at millennials and zillennials and the unnamed, well, the unnamed generation are really too young, but millennials and what they call zillennials these days, really, they want to provide their services and move on. So there is nothing like, employee loyalty. If I work for you for 5 years, be grateful that I even put in, that long a time. So employee deal basically has begun to change hand in hand with, of course, new problems as well. So these days we're living longer because if you notice, people are, again, as a result of technology, people are more aware of health and the need to live. We're creating now in the workplace multi-generational workforces where you have people in their 60s, 50s working together with people who are in their 20s and all. We're recognizing that shelf life of skills is now between 3 to 5 years old. So as HR professionals, if shelf life of skills is between 3 to 5 years old, it means that what you knew before as HR professionals, it may not be relevant for today, because now there is a rapid change, particularly in the last 6 months. There has been a rapid change in the way that work is organized. And who basically manages the organization of work? It is human resources. It is human resources. And so we basically take that initiative, even though it is the line managers that do the everyday work. But we basically, we shape how work is performed. Okay, so we're now competing for talents like product marketing or selling. So basically, if you organize these days, you unlike before, where a company, if a big company in quotes approaches you for employment, these days people go online to check out your company, to basically check out if your company is worth working for. and all of that. There was a recent news about 2 weeks ago about a very popular, television hostess, or who has been encouraging toxic work environment. And because of that, the ratings of her program went down. And that also can happen to our organization. And I can hear somebody saying, oh, this is Nigeria, such things do not happen. You will be shocked. The kind of employees, particularly the millennials and above, that are available now, the talent that is available now, they're very particular about where they work. Okay, so basically we're competing for talent just the same way that product marketing or selling used to, and we are having to sell employee value propositions to a transient workforce. We're seeing an acceptance of job hopping as a reality. So these days in an interview, if you ask somebody, why did you spend only 2 years? Really, how relevant is that question these days? So these are things that we need to begin to talk about. Why? Because technology now makes it easy for hopping. I was looking for somebody, I've been looking for a virtual assistant for a while, and somebody recommended to me to go to Fiverr. And I went to Fiverr, and there are people from all over the world who I could approach for that relationship. So basically, what am I saying? The world of work is changing. People's mentalities are changing as a result of the technology that is available. And that is why it is so important for human resource to ensure that it has the right technology to be able to compete for talent, to be able to ensure that its employees are allowed to be productive and not, and not find our processes cumbersome as they have often complained. So basically, that's it. So in terms of, the industrial age is basically dead, as you all know, where you had one senior manager, and yes, that's still the reality in a lot of organizations, but gradually there is an erosion of the structure of, the most powerful person being on top and is overseeing people who are overseeing people, and basically, everything is, managed from top down. These days, people are no longer wanting to be managed like that. Okay, the knowledge age has brought about systematic, alive, market-driven, functionally integrated, team-based work, where people want to do the work. They don't care whether you're calling them manager or not, even though they ask that you provide them with whatever is due to them. But a number of the younger generation of workers do not really care these days about being the head honcho, as it were. So everything is being driven, the knowledge age, everything is being driven from the outside in, because of the rapid change of technology. Okay, everything is now decentralized, and of course, the level of complexity have become kind of like robust. I just want us to look at quickly, some of the trends, some of the major trends in HR technology. And remember, I said to you that we ourselves, we need to be technologically savvy and understand the times, so that when we are managing people, we are not forcing them to use outdated technological infrastructures. So in terms of trends in the since about the 1970s, 80s and all of that, there have been three major trends. Basically, you've had situations where you've had to have on-the-premise computing. On-the-premise computing, in other words, your server, everything that as far as your computing, everything was supposed to be on the premises, now has moved to cloud computing. Some of you use Dropbox. Some of you use Google Cloud. What's it called now? And all of that. So there has been like a shift from on-premise computing to cloud computing. And then, of course, with the advent of smartphones, um, uh, which has led to mobile computing there, which has again surpassed wired computing. Now, remember that in those days, for those of you who could remember, you went to work, you had a computer, and that was it. As a matter of fact, I took computer science as one of the courses I did in school, and I never saw one computer. Okay, maybe I saw one big mainframe like that they showed us in those days, but I never touched a computer for the how many years that I was in the university. And now, when mobile computing came on board, mobile computing basically refers to your phones, your laptops, and all of that. Everything completely changed. People started to discover that technology actually is good. If we all take our minds back to the advent of telecommunications in Nigeria, where we all had access to the Nokia phone that was just for calling, and then basically later communications moved to not just calling with SMS as well, and then moved again to you being able to send to browse the internet, and basically now you can do everything. I have so many apps on my phones that I can't keep count. So basically people discovered that, and yet at that time HR had not changed. HR basically was still was just using technology as per you get to the office, you get on your computer, you start to try to do work on your computer. Having laptops was a luxury in quotes, but thankfully these days people have realized that, organizations have realized that that is not and should not be the case. And so because employees have tasted that technology looks good, is easy to use, and does not require a user manual, it's elegant in design. You cannot but ensure that your employees have access to the right type of technology these days. So in terms of major trends, one is that there has been a shift from on-premise computing to cloud computing. Second is that the advent of smartphone has led to mobile computing, and of course it gave rise to data-based clustering and machine learning, which of course has opened up a world of new insights. And big data, which is already here, has been a big wave in learning. And what big data does is that it gives us the ability to predict the future. So you can say, okay, so because this has happened and I have data, and I can see that the trends tell me that so and so is going to happen within the future as far as employee information is concerned. Okay. So basically, it's important for us as human resources to basically keep up with the technology that is happening out there. And I know that there must be, a lot more of us in the Nigerian environment than globally. And a lot of us have found it, a bit difficult to try to convince our organizations to invest in technology that will help us. But it is so important that we keep up, so that we can begin to sell that, drive that information to the stakeholders that need to hear us within the HR world. In the last 13 years, the adoption of technology has been on the increase, and it has now become the norm rather than a nice to have. So it's no longer a nice to have, because you need data at your fingertips. If you're going to be an effective HR professional, you need data at your fingertips. And the only way that you can get that data is through the use of HR technology. So the effective and strategic use of technology in HR function is a competitive advantage that allows us as HR professionals to support organizational goals and deliver better HR services to the organization. Okay. So let's talk about, a little about the emerging HR models and, trends in the business and
Seems there's a challenge with the network again. Just hold on. We'll get her back and then continue the session. Please bear with us. I know we all understand the challenges with internet connectivity, so kindly bear with us. Thank you. My voice was too low. Can you hear me properly now? Juliet, is it better now? Okay, so she's trying to reconnect. She'll be joining us
yes,
short. Okay,
yes.
okay.
So sorry. I don't know. This is why this is happening today. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I really apologize. I don't know why this is happening today. So very sorry. Let me just share my screen and then we'll continue. So just before I experienced that electricity situation, um, we were going to talk about the emerging HR model. Okay. Okay. You can hear me, right? And my screen is showing.
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So why do we need to talk about emerging HR models? They basically help us to explain the role of HR in the business and how HR adds value to the business and how the business also, influences HR. So according to Accenture, because of the advent of technology, you know, um, as HR, and as organizations, we're able to tap skills from anywhere, and I mean anywhere around the world and anytime. Okay, we're able to manage our people as a workforce of one. We're able to there's now the rise of the extended workforce, and the extended workforce basically talks about, you know, the people I talked about earlier on, using freelancers, or popularly known as freelancers, contract staffing, and all of that. That is also on the rise, according to Accenture. There is the fact that digital has radically disrupted HR, because with new technology disrupting every other thing in the world, or with new situations disrupting everything else in the world, HR also now needs to start thinking about, okay, how do we begin to upgrade our technology and upgrade the way that we think about managing people? How do we begin to make sure that we have the right technology to actually manage people? For example, again, is the issue of the COVID-19, that if we just look at what happened in Nigeria from the month of March, where there was a lockdown. There's still kind of like a lockdown somewhat, occasioned by COVID-19. And all of a sudden, even though HR professionals have been screaming for years, the future of HR is coming, the future of HR is coming. We need to digitize, we need to, automate our processes, we need to do that because it will make our lives, it will make work more efficient, it will make everything work more effective, our people will be more productive. And obviously, it will help the organization focus better, and it obviously improve the bottom line. Owners of businesses didn't take that seriously until COVID-19 happened. And COVID-19 happened, and for the first time since 100 years, we realized that nobody could go to the office. And so some businesses started to fold up, some businesses pivoted, and some businesses, basically began to explore a way of ensuring that people are actually, being productive working from home. So organizations that did not even want to consider the option of working from home before began to explore such, and are still exploring, such technology, because we've recognized now, and we have come to accept, particularly in this environment, that the best way to go now is the way of technology. It is about finding that technology that is cost effective and that can help you as an organization, enable and empower your people to be as productive as they can be. Okay. Again, like I said, that has its issues, but working from home has its issues, but the benefits of having the benefits of having the technological support in that aspect really cannot be overemphasized. Okay, so Accenture says that social media has begun to drive the democratization of work. Talent management has now met the science of human behavior. So HR has to drive the agile organization. And the truth is that if you really look at it, when we talk about the agile organization, which department can you say is the most agile? When you look at your organization, you look at marketing, you look at HR, you look at IT, you look at product development, research, every aspect. Which department can you say, is very quick, is the most agile? Who can tell me? Who can tell me on the chat? Please, Babajide, help me with this one. Help me with this one. Who can tell me? Okay, I'm seeing it now. Okay. Hello, who can you hear me? Please,
yes,
which when we look at our absolutely technical team, any other one? IT. anything changes. And why is that? Because, a new technology comes in, emerges, and before you know it, what is happening? IT is updating. IT is updating. They're quickly updating. They're not waiting for somebody to come and say, "Oh, the future has come. Oh, so therefore we need to adjust." No, immediately a new technology comes in. IT, they learn the technology and they quickly, you know, adjust. And so you can say that HR should also strive to become like IT, that needs to, basically strive to become like IT when situations are changing around us. Remember, I said that now everything is driven from the outside in. So it's no more a case of, I'm writing policy and that policy is the one that, no, it is now a case of things are changing around us. We need to find a way of becoming agile, quick. And we have the technology is available. I mean, there are young boys in Yaba developing apps that are out of this world. So we need to take advantage of those. Some of us don't even know that those things exist. There is a technological hub somewhere in Yaba. Some of us don't even know what we can take advantage of. And it's not about, oh, my company cannot afford it. The truth is that you can get things that can be tailored to your to what you can afford for now. So basically, Accenture was saying that HR must navigate risk and privacy in a more complex world, because indeed the world is becoming more and more complex. And from 2018, there was a lot of spotlight on uh, uh, data data privacy and how to basically manage that and all that. So HR must navigate risk and privacy in a more complex world, and HR must expand its reach to deliver seamless employee experience. Gone are the days when HR was all in all. You know that feeling of, I'm the police around here. You have to be nice to me as HR, and then I'm the one that dictates your future. No, gone are those days. If we didn't know that before, it's important that we start knowing that now. Gone are those days. Those days no longer exist. As a matter of fact, a friend, someone on my platform approached me recently and said, "You know what? I went for an interview and somehow I don't know, because I'm getting negative vibes from these people. They've spoken to me several times, and I just don't know what they want." And so I spoke to somebody in that organization to say, what is the issue? And the person told me, you know what? It's HR. HR is the headache, because this person was treated badly and actually spoke up. And so HR feels that why should an employee um, that has not been given a contract, that has not been employed, why should they even raise any issues? I mean, this just goes to show you that sometimes we HR, we are our own problem. We could, if we're not careful, we could become the problem of the organization. Because if you do have, someone who's going through one of your processes that gives feedback, consider it, you know, um, consider it, do I call it a blessing? Consider it an opportunity for you to improve. Okay, so with all of these things that Accenture has said, how do we even begin to, you know, um, try to strive to tap talent and skills from anywhere? First of all, some people are saying, okay, affordability and all of that, because the truth is this: you can tap skills at anywhere and anytime because of the technology that is available to you. Because of the technology that is available to you. Okay, so how can we even begin to basically achieve all of these suggestions or all of these trends that are reshaping the future of HR as we know it? So one of the ways, perhaps, and really, perhaps this is, our opportunity to begin to kind of like reimagine HR and think of ways, the things that we can do to try to, you know, uh, uh, shape, the future of HR in our own organizations. Okay, and one of the ways, I don't know why is this not moving. Okay, is by reimagining HR. Okay, is by reimagining HR. Let's stop. Let's drop the old way of doing things. And let me tell you, even like I mentioned, Dave Orich's four roles of HR is now 22 years old. And that means that since the time he first, proposed those four roles of HR, even though it's still quite relevant, but then again, it is also, it's gone beyond just those four boxes right now. And I'm going to again also show you another video shortly, okay, of how of who the new HR professional or HR director is not just about being an HR. It's not just about being HR. It's now more than that, and we're going to watch a video along that shortly. So how do we begin to reimagine HR? It's about us stopping the way we design interventions. A lot of times we are HR. After all, we're HR. HR. Okay. I want people to stop coming late to work. I want people to do this. I want people to, do this. So we go to our nice HR offices. We design orishirishi, pardon me. We design all sorts of, interventions in quotes, and without us getting buy-in from our stakeholders, and because we don't even go to the stakeholders to say, hey, what do you need? We end up answering the wrong questions. And this is where design thinking comes in. For those of you who have not heard of design thinking, please go and Google it. There are many free, I'm sure there are many free trainings, about design thinking. We also offer design thinking as a training as well. So we need to stop designing interventions without the buy-in of our stakeholders. And, because if we do not include our stakeholders, if we do not ask the right questions and come up with the right solutions, we are simply designing interventions that are irrelevant. Okay, so we've got to ask the right questions, and we've got to understand what the business problems are, so that the interventions that we are proposing, works. Okay. All right, so that's one way of reimagining HR. The other way that we can, reimagine HR is to unlearn bad old habits. And what are some of those bad old habits? Those bad old habits that things that I am HR, I belong to my office, I am the all in all in this profession. I'm the HR. After the CEO is me as HR department. And after that, every other person is subservient. No, those are very, old bad habits as HR that we need to unlearn. And of course, you all know what I'm talking about. So if there are any, bad old habits, that you're practicing in your organization, please, time to start unlearning those. Okay? It's also to learn from a wider business approach. And what is that wider business approach? I talked about agility earlier on. The fact that IT is usually one of the IT, or somebody mentioned here, technical department, because when something new comes up that is, that we know will be important to our customers and that would hit our bottom line, what do? We immediately make the changes. So as HR, as situations are coming up, as people are now working from home, as all of these things are now happening around us, we need to begin to make those changes. And of course, there are available HR technology to support us in doing that. The third thing is that we need to focus on productivity. And I dare say that I've worked in some organizations that quite honestly are very forward looking. I mean, one of my roles, one of my KPIs in the last organization where I worked was that I had to make sure that at least 3 times in a year, I was in the field with the salespeople or with the technical people, just to get a feel of how and what, the possible challenges are in the market. So through digital interventions and smarter ways of working, we can focus productivity as a lever to performance. We can clean out or shift quickly as the need be. We can, when we go out to the field with our people, we are able to, design better interventions to support the salespeople. For example, we're able to know the kind of technology that would help them. We don't call them into the office to come and fill a myriad of forms. We can get someone to, get applications that can help them to fill or to answer questions that they need to answer from anywhere. Some of us, some of our organizations, we now pull because of one HR intervention. Obviously, that is very annoying. It can be very annoying, particularly to the people, that are subjected to those so-called interventions, nice interventions of ours. And the question we need to really ask ourselves is, who are these interventions? Who are they helping? Who are they helping? Is it the organization, or is it HR ticking up the box that yes, we are transforming, we're transforming? Is it really helping the organization? Is it making things easier for the employees in the organization to do the work that they have been hired to do? Is it making it easier for them to be innovative, or is it putting them in a box such that, okay, yes, so we have ticked an HR, our HR agenda. An HR agenda that is not aligned with the business is totally irrelevant and is a complete waste of time. But there are many, technological support out there. There are many applications out there that can help us as HR professionals to make life easy for the entire organization, such that they're able to be innovative, their creative juices come alive, without being necessarily bogged down by our own HR agenda. Okay. Okay, so now, so whatever HR transformation that, whatever HR transformation that is going on in your organization, it is obviously hinged on technology, because we cannot have an HR transformation without technology. It is technology that has actually changed the way that we are able to focus, we're able to relate with employees, we're able to store files, and we're able to analyze employee performance. Okay, so HR technology, which allows us to have, access to analytics that will enable us predict the future and also predict the health of our organization. We've talked about e-recruitment, that we have all sorts of HR portals and HR information systems, and of course the big one, the cloud, as as a software service. Okay, I think I've already talked a lot about this. I've talked a lot about this, so I'm not going to bother to. I'm just going to skip this a bit. Okay, so I said here on this slide that if the HR function in your organization is actually not transforming itself to align with forward-thinking practices, which is basically what I've spent a bit of time talking about, in the last few minutes, we must ask ourselves questions. We must ask ourselves some tough questions in HR, because the work grouping of the now cannot afford for HR, an HR that fails to contribute or to lead modern thinking. Basically, what I'm challenging us to do as HR professionals this afternoon is to go back and see how relevant really are we. The level of technology we have in our organization, the people that relate to the people aspect, how much of it is really relevant, how much of it is really helping the employee to be productive. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna just put on a video. Please just bear with me. I'm stop sharing my screen now. Then I'm gonna, Babajide, you're gonna help me with the second video of the new HR professional. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Just give me a second. Yeah. Please just give me a second on this one. Okay, Babajide, I've just sent you the video. Please help me to play it so that we can look at it. So here we're looking at the new HR professional. Babajide, did you hear me, please? And have you received it?
Yes, I have. I'm trying to get it.
All right. Okay. So basically in this video that Babajide is going to share with us right now, it's basically looking at new role of HR beyond the Dave Orich model. What is the new role of HR? So it incorporates everything we've known before and some more. Okay. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
In the beginning, the role of your HR team was largely functional. It was centered around payroll, leave, policy making and training. Recruitment generally meant putting an ad in the paper and hoping for the best, or hiring a recruiter. Then things changed. Technology and social media happened, and as a result, your role as the head of HR began to evolve. Being just a brand name company was no longer enough.
The audio is not good, right?
Please start it again, because he actually the audio started before the video itself started showing.
Okay. So I'm restarting it now.
In the beginning, the role of your HR team was largely functional. It was centered around payroll, leave, policy making and training. Recruitment generally meant putting an ad in the paper and hoping for the best, or hiring a recruiter. Then things changed. Technology and social media happened, and as a result, your role as the head of HR began to evolve. Being just a brand name company was no longer enough. Because of social media, everyone knows what it's like to work in a company. They can see who works there, if you have cool company perks, what your company culture is like, and even if your office has a slide. The employer brand was born. Now every employee is an ambassador. Their experiences are shared with a captive online audience, who in turn share with their audiences. Today, the first step of recruitment doesn't start with a job application. It starts online. The very first thing a prospective job candidate does is run a search on you. Not just your company, it's also your LinkedIn profile that they are looking at. As the head of HR, you now also need to be a brand builder and a marketer. Recruitment began to change too. Technology opened up a whole new world of talent, but not just active job seekers, but hundreds upon thousands of qualified candidates who weren't actively looking. It was a game changer. You now had direct access to talent. You no longer had to wait for the right CV to cross your desk. Your employees were also increasingly becoming a valuable source of recruitment. As ambassadors for your company, they were best placed to identify the right people to join your team. But for them to do that efficiently, you needed to give them the right tools. A strong employer brand, a great company narrative, and an inspiring work environment. As the head of HR, you now also need to be a communications expert and motivator. Technology also opened up an overwhelming world of data to HR leaders. There was so much opportunity to utilize this data to improve the decision-making process, make better hires, and retain talent. All at your fingertips. You just had to make sense of it all, because you now need to be an analyst and an insights person. Today, the role of HR in an organization is no longer functional. It is transformational. As a head of HR, you are responsible for building your employer brand so that you attract the right talent. You deliver value for your company by understanding and using data-driven insights to improve efficiencies. You hire the right talent by connecting with the right people. You are a brand builder, an analyst, a communicator, a motivator, and a collaborator. And as your partners at LinkedIn, we're here to provide you with just the tools and insights you need to get the job done.
All right, fantastic video. For those of you who would like to go back to the video later on, I'm going to I'm posting the link. Okay, so HR professionals on the call, who are you? Let me see your responses on the chat. What is your role these days? What are your roles in this new milieu? Okay, are you there? Hello, HR, brand builder. Okay, brand ambassador, yes. Any more responses? Strategic business partner, yes. Okay, any more responses? Quickly. Communicator, okay. And the communication, there are now also technology to support the way that we communicate and what we communicate in the organization, okay. Any others? Come on, people. Okay, talent farmer, thank you. Well done. Go on. Quickly. Strategist and communicator. Collaborator, yes, indeed. Yes. Go ahead. I'm waiting for you. Quickly, I'm waiting for you. Okay, team builder, design thinker, yeah, mentor. Okay, so you can see, and please keep the comments coming, please. Keep the comments coming. So you can see that the traditional role of HR and the shift that happened about 22 years ago, thanks to Dave Ulrich, is shifting again, but still incorporating, those 4 roles. But it's just that those 4 roles and a whole lot more. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So those 4 roles and so much more. So you can imagine that the HR leader or the HR professional of 5 years ago, I must say, even 5 years ago, has basically changed. The role of HR has changed. Okay, data analyst, coach, mentor, counselor. Okay, yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating. So you can see that change has It has actually happened. All this is as a result of technology. And this is just the beginning. Because yeah, so I also added a few here. The new HR professional must must understand technology, must understand technology, because this is now the game changer. Anybody, let me tell you, there is such a low barrier to entry into the HR profession. The game changer are those who understand technology, who understand the business issues in their organization. They're able to use technology to basically solve the, the problems that, um, they come across, basically. Okay. All right. Okay. So part of this, change in the role of HR is that, and I did, one of the things that videos mentioned is the fact that the role of HR is transformational. That is our role. Our role is not to say, okay, this is how we did it 5 years ago. 5 years ago, this worked. Last year, this worked. Earlier this year, in January, this worked. And now it's not working, because even within the last 6 months, like I mentioned earlier, we have seen such a high rate of change. Can you see my screen? I hope you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So what is organizational alignment, and how do we even begin to, do that? If our role is that of, transformational leader, as it were, okay, how do we even begin to ensure that there is an alignment between what the CEO is seeing, and what the lowest person on the food chain, in quotes, is seeing. Okay, and organizational alignment basically talks about the idea that the entire team, they share a common vision and goal for the company. They work in a collaborative manner to accomplish each goal while maintaining a sense of transparency and accountability across all departments. And really, like we mentioned, if we're saying that if we want to ensure that this happens, obviously there needs to be a clear and meaningful purpose. There needs to be clarity in terms of how we're communicating what is important in our organization. We need to determine the practical and not too complicated technology that can support us in ensuring that everybody is seeing the same thing within the organization, because people only they only deal with what they see as is a need. We need to ensure that our plans and priorities will keep the team on track, basically. So we need to ensure that all employees are as well are aligned with their roles. So not putting, and that's why I said earlier on, I talked about artificial intelligence earlier on, that even helps you to do that. So they look at a role, it looks at a role, it looks at the requirements of a role, both how that role will, is currently and could potentially change in the future, and then helps you align, the people within your organization, helps you to see how that alignment can happen. Okay, so again, we need to ensure that the right employees are within the team, and of course that the various teams we have in the organization are functioning and collaborating together. Again, this is something that relevant technology can help us with. Okay, so the question is, how is team alignment? Sorry, 1 second. So basically, team alignment is obviously very important for seamless and effective business processes, both for us internally and also for the customer as well. So such that, like I said, if we need to invest on a technology that would help us do that, then we need to basically explore and see how that can happen. Okay, we need to be clear on what successes for us, not just as HR, but success for the organization looks like, and then begin to look for the kind of technology that will support us helping the organization achieve that success. All right. Sorry, I don't know, my cursor is not moving. Okay. So the next thing, and that's because, again, as changes happen, we need to ensure that our organizations are, are constantly being, we're reinventing our organizations. We're supporting the reinvention of our organizations, and we're shedding the past quickly. We're responding, allowing or enabling the market, our companies to respond to market opportunities through change in the way we structure, in the way we govern for agility, and in the way we enable people to innovate. I think I've mentioned all of these things before. So to have any success, we need to ensure that, as leaders, we're aspiring to transform our organizations, and we are asking the serious questions. Do we really need to change? Do we really need to change? Do we have the right, technology to support our change where we are currently? Do we even understand where we're going? Because if you don't understand where you're going, there is no way you can understand the kind of the kind of technology you need to put in place to assist in getting there. Do we even know how to get there? How do we navigate, to get to where we're going? And do we have a reasonable chance of success? So in talking about, HR technology, it's not about having technology for technology's sake. It's about also ensuring that we are implementing the right technology that is relevant, basically, that is relevant. So, okay, so and like I mentioned before, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. The future of HR includes a continuous, evolution of technology to meet the heightened expectations from the business and employees alike. Because outside of HR, technology itself, technology itself is changing rapidly. So within HR, we also need to ensure that as technology is changing, we are enabling the processes that will help, us implement and have the right technology to support our businesses. Okay, heightened demands to deliver an innovative employee experience and grow business demands require continual modernization of technology, which ranges from cloud services to intelligent automation to knowledge management to social, mobile, and so much more. Okay, so how do we then reposition ourselves for the future of HR? And we already agree that the future of HR is technology based. Okay, is to embrace technology, is to embrace analytics. It's not to be afraid of them, because one of the things I found out is that a lot of us in HR were very afraid of analytics, we're very afraid of technology. Basically, technology helps with analyzing all the information that we require. For example, and we should not be afraid of it. If we do not have the skills, nobody is born with any skills. It's easy for us to actually just go out there, invest a little if need be, and basically upskill ourselves. Let me just again talk about an organization where I worked recently. So the entire organization, we came up with the concept of digital citizenship. There was a recognition that, look, technology is fast changing. And so every aspect of the organization, whether it is HR, whether it is sales, whether it is marketing, and every other aspect of HR, we recognize the fact that we needed to have a certain level of technological knowledge. And so we came up with the concept of digital citizenship. And through discussing that, we came up with competencies, technological competencies that would help us. So if you are HR, there were certain HR, competencies that were technology in HR that you need to know. You actually need to know so you don't have to be the IT person to actually know about those. And those were incorporated as part of the skills and expectations in our organization, and people were actually assessed based on this. So it was the first year of deploying, and we were still in the testing phase before. It was our first year. We saw that we needed to basically see how that works, and then that helped us to see how we would bring people up to speed in terms of the gaps that were noticed. So let's embrace technology. If you feel, or if you see that your organization needs to reinvent itself in that respect, come up with competencies in this regard for every aspect of your organization, and begin to plug the gaps that are necessary in this regard. So understand, as HR people, as HR professionals, we need to understand how our companies succeed. These days, I do not know any company that can succeed without technology. We need to understand the way that it succeeds, and if there is a need to basically sell to the business the importance of required technology, then we need to go ahead and do that. We need to also stay focused on people. Employee experience is a big issue these days, and again, technology can support us in that regard. I mentioned as an example earlier on about the organization where I worked, where by the time that the candidate is resuming, he's day one ready. He has his ID card, he has his laptop, everything. We're just plugging and playing because technology assisted us to basically engage the employee even before, right after, accepting that, right after interviewing the candidates and, offer acceptance and all of that. And like I mentioned before, employee experience even goes way beyond. It's all before onboarding. It starts from when employees begin to look at your organization to even see if they are even interested in your kind of organization. Let me tell you what, more and more, the power is shifting to candidates out there who also are very particular about the kind of organizations they're coming to work in. A lot of millennials and zillennials do not want to work for organizations who do not have any iota or a low level of technological savvy. Basically, they do not want to work for such organizations. So we've got to stay focused and ask ourselves, stay focused on the people and ask ourselves, okay, we've heard that we're brand managers or brand ambassadors. What technology can I deploy that will help me manage that aspect of my work so that my organization looks attractive to potential candidates? And let me just tell you, and that's why you see that on that note, you see that sites like Glassdoor are becoming more and more relevant because employees or potential employees go to Glassdoor to find out about your organization before they even begin to apply to your organizations. Don't position your organization to only reach uh, the talents that nobody wants. Don't and really, it's technology that would help you to basically, bring your organization up to speed in terms of becoming a visible employer or choice. Okay, be ready for the new workforce. So the new workforce is extremely knowledgeable about technology. Is your organization knowledgeable about technology? We watched a video, the very first video we watched is the fact that now the future is here. Everything we do does not have to be, we don't need to go into the office to do it. And as a matter of fact, really, more and more, we don't need employees to physically be present in the office to perform certain tasks anymore, because again, more and more organizations are also not looking at you ticking the box in terms of how many number of people that came into the office today. Everybody is more concerned about productivity right now, because it's when employees are productive that it shows, it tells in the business results. Okay, so we need to be ready for the new workforce. Are we ready for the new workforce? Okay, we need to market a modern benefits package, part of which includes the level of technology that we allow our people, our employees. For example, there's still quite a number of Nigerian organizations who block their people, who block their employees from accessing Facebook, LinkedIn, and social media generally. And the truth is that the world is moving away from that, because more and more, your employees, when they go on such social media platforms, they are actually showcasing your brand. And if they don't know how, you can actually show them how they can showcase your brand and all of that. So restrictions, a lot of those restrictions have gone out the window. Let's not, remain in that kind of space. Okay, we need to stay abreast of compliance issues as well, because with technology also comes cyber security issues as well, and data management issues as well. So we need to stay abreast of all of these issues and know how, as HR professionals, we craft, enabling policies that would help us, and help our people and help our businesses in that regard. And it's important that I just thought to put this last one, it's important that we kind of like keep up to date. Really, not really about certification. Certification is good, it's very good because it validates your competencies, but really is to keep up to speed with emerging technologies, with emerging HR, issues, because those are the things that can help us to transform. And for me, really, transformation is not just about the technology, it's about the culture. Because let me tell you what, even if we put all the technologies in this world and our culture, and all we do is take the old way of managing HR into those technologies, nothing changes. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of investment. So the point is that we need to first change our mindsets, try to change our cultures. I just gave an example. You say that you are a very technology-based environment, you are a transformation HR or something like that, and still little things that would enable your people, you're still blocking them. Social media, for example. Okay, so the idea is not to block. The idea is to look for ways of using such, media to be productive for your organization. Okay, just to let some of you know, for those of you who always insist on an email or written note, know that employees are resigning now through WhatsApp. You need to know that employees are now resigning through WhatsApp. Employees are resigning through email. Hopefully, they will not go and be resigning on Facebook and LinkedIn soon. But basically, what am I trying to say? Let's enable our people to be as productive as possible and enable them to be able to use available um, um, uh, uh, technologies to benefit the organization. Like I said earlier on in one of the slides I showed, I talked about the fact that employees discovered the sexiness of technology before organizations, came behind and tried to, because of the how mobile computing evolved and evolved quickly. So we've got to ask ourselves, what are those technologies that are available right now that we can quickly leverage on right now, as an organization, if affordability is an issue, or if you're not able to sell to your management the importance and the benefits of having, or how HR technology can help your need to transform as an HR department. Okay. All right. Any questions?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that value-packed and insightful session. Thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing your wealth of experience with us. So let's get feedback quickly. How was the session? And please send in your question using the Q&A feature, or if you are on YouTube, send in your question in the chat box and we'll take them here. So let's get feedback. How was the session? And send in your questions quickly, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Because I just wore my earpiece.
Okay.
Thank you, Barry.
Great content. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you for your time as well.
Okay, I have a question here. How can we avoid the abuse of social media in the workplace?
Okay, so so the truth is, we can reduce the abuse of social media during work hours. Again, what am I even saying? Because now, if you really even look at it, since we all started working from home, you find out that there is now kind of like a blur between working times and non-working times. But let's talk about working times now and social media. The truth is this: I believe in educating people. I believe that our policies should serve as a guide. Our policies should not be those that are policing in nature, because who has that? Come on, who has that time? Do we even have enough resources in nature to even be doing all of that? So if you educate the people, if we talk to the people and we say, and where we show them how we can, the organization, yes, or we require that these are the rules. It's okay to use social media, but just make sure that while using it, you are using it for the business. Do you understand? You're using to showcase whatever the organization is doing, and people will listen. That's what I think. I think that it's not about if we say there's never going to be any abuse, we're deceiving ourselves. But let's with continuous education, continuously educating the people on how to and what to. That really help. If you go on LinkedIn right now, you will see that in the last few years, there's been a great trend in how people are showcasing their organizations on LinkedIn. People are proud to talk about their organizations. That is, if they're fully engaged. I mean, if they're engaged, they're proud to talk about their organizations on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So it's to position yourself, your organization, such that, okay, there are rules. We don't expect you to post offensive contents. Just provide rules and talk to the people, let them know what the boundaries are. And I believe that, that could work.
Thank you very much for that response. We have more feedback here. Olumiwa says, a very wonderful, engaging session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Harriet says, great session, ma. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Arrow says, great session. Thank you. Omotola says, session was so practical. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Adedoyin says, nice delivery, very insightful. Thanks, madam.
Thank you.
Bola says, this is practical, real issues addressed.
Thank
Which
you.
business leaders will allow HR help in the transformation process?
Yeah, very true. Let me just make a comment around that. The truth is that business leaders are very concerned about the bottom line. They're concerned about, about the company remaining alive, the company thriving, the company's bottom line being comfortable, being exponential in growth. So, business leaders are concerned about that. Now, our role in HR is to help the business leaders see that, look, if we don't attend to this stitch, it could affect 9 others. And that's why I find that a lot of us, but how many of us even know the business of our organization? A lot of us just think that our role is to just, should be an HR. What is HR's business with sales? Let me tell you, one of the first skills you need as an HR professional is selling skills, because every day you are selling. Every day, if I'm selling right now, am I not? I'm selling right now, convincing you about the importance of HR technology. So every day we're interacting with our CEOs, our business leaders, we are selling. It's opportunity to sell. If we go for meetings, we don't say anything. We don't contribute anything. How will they ever listen to us? They would never listen to us. It's for us to begin. By the time you are in meetings and you are the one telling them what business issues are, or what could become potential business issues if we don't quickly address them, they begin to want to hear you. So when I hear people, a very popular phrase in the HR world, HR and sit at the table. I always tell people, the seat has not been missing. You are the one not sitting there properly. Maybe you are sitting with one cheek of your buttock there. You need to just basically understand what business issues are and let them know, so that when they are calling the marketing and the accounting on the CFO, they're also calling HR. It's not after they have decided between marketing and finance, then they will not tell you to implement. No, you've got to begin to show that you understand what the real business issues are and begin to proffer solutions to those issues so that you become now relevant. I talked about industrial revolution, Dave Orrich's model. By the way, did I mention that we're in the 4th industrial revolution, which is has been brought on by technology, simple technology. So the thing is, some of us we've not moved from the 1970s way of doing managing HR. Not to talk about Dave Orich. Some of us have not even heard the name. My apologies. I don't mean to offend, but this is really, really the truth. So even the technology we're talking about, some of us don't even understand what we're talking about. Now, the funny thing, I was sharing with my friend the other day that I've attended so many webinars, I've attended so many training sessions, that I'm almost, it's almost coming out of my mouth. Nobody is born with it. Let's learn it. We are HR, human resources. And let me also shock you. You are not the real human resource manager. No, you are not. You are not. The manager is the real human resource manager. You are a consultant. Amongst your other roles as HR, you are consultants. You are a guide. You transform. And so how do you want to transform if you are not aware of business issues? How do you want to transform if you are not aware of technology issues? So people, come on, we can learn. Nobody is born with it. There's so much free content on the internet to start with. And I'm sure Babajide will be very happy to also provide you with information on some of these things that, some of these trainings that he offers within Adulam Consulting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your response. Just to reiterate, HR has moved even beyond business partnering to become business drivers.
Absolutely.
So you are responsible for the business outcomes of the organizations as well. So thank you very much for your response. There are
Thank
two
you,
questions here. Mercy is asking, thanks for such an insightful session. My question is, what HR information system would you recommend for an HR professional who doesn't have any? And then the second question is, furthermore,
no, sorry, please, you may need to repeat that. I didn't get that because my internet went off a bit.
Okay, so the question is, what HR information system would you recommend for an HR professional who does not have any?
There are various. Earlier on, there are various. I can't begin to recommend one particular one now. I would advise that you please go on the internet and just because there's some that address different aspects of HR. So you may want to just go on Google, just type HR. What was the question again? Yeah, HR technology or HR technology or tools, and a lot to come out, both for recruitment, for payroll, for benefits administration, and the entire employee life cycle. Today, I came across, I'm telling you, there are about 100. You won't believe it. There are about 100 for, myriad of HR processes, but you want to be careful and all of that. So, Babajide, I don't want to know if you know any that you want to recommend at this point.
Really, like you said, the needs are different by organization, so you just have to do your search and get one tailored for your needs. The second question she's asking is about the WhatsApp group I mentioned during your introduction. How do you be part of how do you join, basically? How do you join the WhatsApp group?
Okay, so Accelerate Leadership is for what we do at Accelerate Leadership is basically to we post vacancies at Accelerate Leadership. Then we also give career tips. Then we also offer 2 free training sessions in a month. We actually have a session at 8 p.m. this evening. I will just, is it okay, Babajide, to post the...
That's fine.
Sorry?
Please.
Okay, yes. Please just give me a second. I'll post. Let's go on. I'll post it on the chat box, how you can join Accelerate Leadership.
Okay, great.
Accelerate your career.
Fantastic. So next question from Omotola. In your opinion, how personal is LinkedIn platform? Is it right for employers to follow posts from employees? And where do you draw the line between critiquing what you see on their post and letting it go?
Okay, so that's where I believe in having, where there are no rules, where you don't, there are no rules, people, and where you do not show people where the boundaries are, people can go haywire. So my LinkedIn profile is personal to me. But if my organization says, you know what, Dorothy, hey, we're trying to remember this project we're working on, I would like for us to, basically showcase it on LinkedIn, then I will do that. For example, I worked with Schneider Electric and, excuse me, and when we were about to launch our, it's called Open Market, we're supposed, what I talked earlier about, how artificial intelligence is used to source. We were happy to post it on LinkedIn. Even the global CEO posted on LinkedIn things about it. Our talent, I just saw last week that part of the talent management process we started when I was there, as part of Africa. For the first time in Kenya, for example, they now have a local CEO. You understand? So once people understand what something is meant for, they will abide by the rules. If they post things that are inappropriate, particularly if it has to do with the organization, my suggestion is to call them aside and talk about it. And if need be, get them to pull down the post. And then you do a wider communication to remind everybody what that enablement of allowing people to basically interact on during work hours and all of that, what is supposed to happen then. If you critique the person without, if you critique the person publicly, I'm afraid you may put your organization in a situation where people just don't want to. They will start. They won't want to be involved in that kind of communication anymore. They'll just keep quiet. You'll find out that they will never speak about the organization. They will never, do anything they will never even bring you into their space as an organization. But let me tell you what, it's better when employees are able to champion the cause of an organization, because it makes your organization look attractive to potential employees and even business partners out there. I hope I've answered the question.
Thank you very much. Yes, you have. Okay, so while we are waiting for more questions, the link you said you want to post.
Yes. Sorry, I was distracted because I was talking. Please just give me a few seconds to go to my WhatsApp and quickly do this.
Okay. Okay, so please note the attendance code on the screen for this session. For the purpose of recording your attendance to get your certificate of completion and also to claim your certification credit. The next session will be starting in about 45 minutes from now. We'll be looking at performance management in a virtual world, monitoring and feedback. Our speaker for that session is Adebolaji Bayewu. Please make out time to join that session as well. And also the session Accelerate Your Career that Dorothy will be sharing shortly.
I've shared it already.
Okay, so that's in the chat session. So please join in. And I think that session is by 8 p.m., right?
Yes, it's 8 p.m. Okay, I shared how to join Accelerate Your Career. Okay, let me share the link. The link for this evening session is this. Immediately you register, it will give you your access to the details of the session for this evening. So yes, already done. Yes, shared. So I'll share two links. One is for this evening. The last one is for this evening.
So the link is in that session now. Okay. Okay, great. So the first one is for the Accelerate Your Career WhatsApp group, while the second one is for the session this evening.
Yes, and
thank you for sharing.
I'll be hosting.
Okay, so I think just a follow up on the previous question. So the person is asking, sorry, let me be more specific. Is it appropriate to frown at? Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, so is it appropriate to frown at employees posting personal stuff on their LinkedIn during work hours?
Okay, well, what does the organization do? Again, if it's not affecting anything, and if it's not affecting anything, I would say don't. Let's not overburden the issue, because the truth is, that means you yourself, you have time to be monitoring when they are posting things. I don't know how to answer that, but the question is, what does your organization want? I don't expect that there will be too much of it, but the truth is, you cannot 100% reduce it. People will do that. So if you're not comfortable with it as an organization, have a conversation. But I would suggest that you have that conversation one-on-one with the person, then post what the rules are, communicate what the rules are to everyone. That's how I would answer that question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, please, if you have any more questions, send them in quickly before we round up this session. It's been a fantastic session. Spending over 2 hours with you, Yema. Thank you for sharing from the art. I can see we could feel your passion while you're sharing. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Babajide, I also want to say thank you to you. First of all, for reaching out to me for this session. That's one. Secondly, for what you're doing. I mean, this this is great. Just how many weeks of free training sessions, and it's not. I just want to encourage everyone. If there's any of you here who hasn't done their HR certifications, I would encourage you to go to speak with Babajide. He will direct you in that respect. This investment, Babajide, I pray that you will receive the rewards. Adulam will receive the rewards. I'm really blessed by providing this opportunity for people out there. I'm very passionate about sowing into the society. I'm passionate about CSR, and I just want to say that I'm greatly blessed by you making this opportunity available to people. Well done, well done.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And amen to all your prayers. So you
Amen.
heard that we come and patronize our services.
Yes, please.
I try
Yes,
not to
please.
speak so much about that during the sessions, but yes, please. If you're interested in getting any of the HRCI certificates, you can speak to us after this session. So thank you for bringing that up, ma.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Bonani says thank you, Adinam. Thank you for the opportunity. You're welcome. Thank you all for joining. It's been an amazing time here. I think that's all for now. Okay, do I send my inquiries to Adinam? Yes, you can send us your inquiries to info@adinamconsulting.com and we'll respond to you. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank
Let
you.
me release you
Thank
to
you.
prepare for your other session today.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a
You
wonderful day. Bye then.
too. Yeah, bye. Okay, see you all out at 3 p.m. for the last session for today, performance management in a virtual world, monitoring and feedback.